Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show. I will have some announcements and a recap for all of you, but before we dive into any of that, Nick, would you go ahead and kick off a round of player introductions, which we can have our special guest character for this episode close up for us?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Embers of White Ash, the Sun Soul Tabaxi Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is the Elvish Circle of the Land Druid.
Hi there, I'm Melissa, and I play Tuppence Wiseacre, who is a pixie bard who loves to pick on Rook.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Vert, the Changeling Armorer Artificer.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm the guest, and I'll be playing Yerdad, the Orc Life Cleric.
Thank you, everyone. So before I dive into our announcements, yes, we've got my good friend Jordan here joining us for this episode, and probably a good number going forward while the party is, exploring the city of Fymyr. So Jordan, before I dive into our announcements, I just wanted to give you a chance to plug your own stuff since you've got stuff going on.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I'm doing a show actually coming up on March 18th and 19th called the Letterkenny Talent Show. It is a Letterkenny themed burlesque show. It's happening at the Give In Ballard. Check for us online. It's easiest just to Google it rather than have me read out a long string of URL code.
And you've also got a D&D show.
Oh, right? Yes, I've got my own D&D show that I do on Fridays at 6 o'clock on Twitch. If you search twitch.tv/Dice Jailers, we're doing the campaign, and actually just tonight, after we recorded our stuff, we figured out a name for the campaign finally.
Very cool. Yeah, so check them out. Jordan and his buddy Bjorn, who is also on the show, have done a lot of videos that are just like chatting about D&D, and I've been on there once or twice to do some one shots, and then also, as he mentioned, they've got an ongoing campaign now, so pretty cool. Check it out. Our quick announcements, I'll roll through them really fast. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom pixie lineage, which Melissa is kindly playing, so be aware of that as you're watching. The character portraits, which you'll see all over the layout, were drawn by an artist named Krista Porter, who goes by @KristaPorter with 2 R's on the end on Twitter. If you need a refresher on anything that's going on in the campaign, we have a campaign wiki at World Anvil, and there's a handy little page on there called The Story So Far, which is just basically me journaling everything that happens. So that's a good place to catch up. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information to everything I just mentioned and more, including some links to some Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate resources. Finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Antiheroes Anon, and we just hope you enjoy the show, share with your friends, and come back and watch some more. So without further ado, let's roll the intro video. And welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Antiheroes earned the deed to a keep in Amberhearth, or not the Antiheroes, the Silver Seekers is the group name, earned the deed to a keep in Amberhearth, and they are currently headed north to their new home. A stop in Twin Towns lasted several days as the Seekers dealt with threats to the locals, as well as a group of bounty hunters who were hired to capture Rook, who is formerly known as Prince Vertinor of Vagma. On the way to Fymyr, which is the home of the largest library in the Empire, as well as the host to RomCon, which a couple of the party members are hoping to attend, they dealt with a saber-toothed lion drake and heard disquieting rumors of a disaster in Amberhearth, which actually led to its populace evacuating. However, the most unsettling of all the events on their road to Fymyr was Elwyn's encounter with a being known as the Weaver, who made some not so subtle accusations against Elwyn's patron, the Masked Lady. And so that is where we are going to pick up today's episode. The group of you had basically in your wagon come within sight of the city of Fymyr. However, there's a long line of fellow travelers outside of the gate who seem to be sort of stopping and talking to guards at the gate before going in. The gates themselves are set into these massive stone walls on the outside of the city, and they are flanked by what look like statues of stone giant warriors, just these 20, 30 foot tall, massive stone statues guarding each of the gates. And as you kind of look, you can see that there are a number of gates in the walls, and each one of them is flanked by a set of these stone giant statues. And eventually, after a little bit of a wait in the line, the group of you get to the front, and you can see Imperial wardens there at the gate, greeting pretty much everyone who comes in. And one of them comes running over. It's just this sort of like pimply youth with kind of sandy blondish hair. It comes running over, trotting towards the group of you across the muddy street. Hi. We just need to, I need to record, names and a purpose for everyone coming into the city.
Well, sure. My
Very
name is
important job.
Well, yeah, well, thank you. It is an important job.
Aren't you a little young?
He kind of like rubs his eyes. Are you a pixie? Are you a fairy?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen
How old
anyone
are
like you
you?
before. Well, I'm 18. I had to get a job. Hey, we're off topic here. I need just names and a purpose.
Yes, thank you. My name is Lady Alen'dal,
Mm-hmm.
heir to House Amelos, minister of the Old Faith and shepherd of the Tundra. And this is my entourage.
Could you say that just a little bit more slowly, please?
Of course. Elwyn Amelos,
Mm-hmm.
heir to House Amelos, minister of the Old Faith and shepherd of the Tundra.
Right, okay.
Yes,
Elwyn
and this
Amelos.
is-
Got it.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, and this is my entourage. We're passing through on our way north. We thought we'd take in the city since it's the capital of Sergil and all. We've heard
Right.
fantastic things about this place.
Well, yeah, it's a great city. Can I get everyone else's names real quick as well?
So I should probably disclose my disguise at this point.
Yeah, what do you look like?
All right. So last time we were saying that I would have been prepping everybody on what I'm going to take on and what I'm going to do, but this time I'm going to be like a brownish amber-colored hair dwarf named Cole Coldlake, who goes by Coco. And I will what's the word? I'll make my armor shift to look like so they have like hammer priests in Rhymestrand, and then did they have any other like armor styles? Because I could match that, right?
Yeah, I mean, their warriors would have had armor that you could kind of match the stylings of for sure.
Are hammer priests like very well known outside of Rhymestrand, or is it just kind of like?
Yeah, because that's just a position within the Church of Moradin.
Moradin, okay.
Yeah, the Rhymestrand dwarves, their armor had a lot of like fur and stuff like that, but you've got a disguise kit, so you could definitely put furs and things like that on the armor to help you emulate their style.
Okay, so I'll do that, and so yeah, I'll say, well, I'm Cole Coldlake.
just like writing that down.
And then
Embers of white ash.
I'm Tuppence Wiseacre.
Right, and you said you're just passing through town, doing anything while you're here?
Oh, we were thinking about stopping at the what is it called? Arginium.
Argent Athenaeum.
That thing, Athenaeum. Yep. It's
Right.
late.
Right. Okay. Well, that's right in front of the entrance to Mount Scorstein, so it should be easy enough for you to get there. He kind of like takes a peek in the wagon and sees just a bunch of books in there. It's like, right, heading to the library. That makes sense. All right. Well, I think everything checks out here. And he just kind of like steps back and begins to let the group of you pass. And as the wagon starts to roll forward, you hear, hold just right there. One moment. And a superior officer comes running up behind this youth and says, let me get a look at that list of names, and kind of takes the clipboard from the youth and reads down it. You could see sort of a realization dawning on their eyes. And this person comes over.
Insight check.
Yeah,
Insight
okay.
fucking
Do it.
insight check.
Do it.
Using my fucking skill. All right. I don't trust any of my dice. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I rolled really well for the first time ever. 26.
It looked like when this person came running up, there was some sort of like recognition in their eyes, and it seems like reading the list of names kind of confirmed that for them.
Said something about, okay, like, is it, words are real hard right now, you guys. Good recognition, like, Kaleo asked us to look out for these guys. These are the guys that helped us in Port Horizon Shroud, or is it bad recognition, like this is the party that was with motherfucking Rook?
Yeah, you rolled high. It looks like from this guard's demeanor, it doesn't look like the group of you are in any sort of trouble.
Okay.
It looks
Thank
like
you. That's
more
it.
of the good side of recognition.
All right. All right.
Yeah, and that commanding officer comes trotting over to the wagon. Excuse me, sorry. Listen, we were actually told the group of you were coming. You're the Silver Seekers, correct?
That's
Sure.
right.
We actually thought you'd arrive in town, earlier than this. But Legate Kalea Bird Crusher, she gave the warden special orders that if the group of you came through, you were to be escorted to wherever your purposes were in the city,
Well,
and
I assure
shown
you that
every
won't be-
luxury.
That's very kind, but I assure you that won't be necessary.
Are
I don't
you
think we're
sure?
going to spend that much time in the city anyway, but I
We
appreciate
can easily
the
have
offer,
someone show
surely.
you the way to the library, show you around the train systems. It can be a little bit complicated.
Been here before. I know the way.
You are the woman?
This person is looks like they're battling against their instincts because they were given an order. But roll a
Yeah.
persuasion check, whoever one of you wants to, and you can have advantage because you work together.
But I should probably do it then.
Yeah, why don't I
Yeah.
help you?
Okay. Okay. Ooh, another good roll. Another 26.
Okay.
Killing it right from the start. Okay. Can only go downhill from here.
Yeah. So the guard kind of gives a nod and says, "All right. Well, if you've been here before, but just know that you can approach any of the wardens you see in the city. Let them know who you are. They should be aware about the things you did to help the city of Port Horizon Shroud, and that the legate is in your debt. So just anything you need, just ask. And welcome to Fymyr." He kind of steps back and lets you in.
Very kind of you. Thank you so much. What was your name?
Oh, Dickory.
Well, Dickory, it has been a pleasure meeting you, and I will be sure to remember that in case people start asking questions.
Well, I mean, I'm just a gate captain, so I don't know how much
But your hospitality will be remembered. That's what I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Enjoy your time in the city.
Thank you very much.
And then as your wagon begins to roll forward, anyone who wants to can make a perception check.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Is it what's the weather like?
The
What's
weather
like today? Yeah.
is actually a pretty clear, kind of like the weather was here today, just like a nice, sunny, clear day.
Sunny. Disadvantage then. Got it.
I got a 24. Because for maybe obvious and understandable reasons, Embers isn't watching esports like a hawk.
Mhm.
I got a natural 20, which is
Mine's a
also a
9.
24.
Actually, Kay, you probably wouldn't have to roll for disadvantage on this one since it's more of a hearing thing.
Well,
If you had a better
I
roll
rolled
than a
shit
9.
for both of them, so I think it was either a 9 or a.
Okay.
What's my perception? It
9.5.
was a 13.
Well, Embers and Coco definitely noticed. As the wagon is kind of trundling forward, you can hear Captain Dickory saying to that, pimply, sandy-haired youth, be sure to dispatch a messenger Drake to Kalea. Let her know the Silver Seekers have arrived, just in case she wants to know. Let her know we offered them, assistance, but they said they were fine on their own. So, and yeah, Dickory kind of gives a salute, or not Dickory, the sandy-haired youth gives a salute and then runs off.
That could have gone a lot worse.
Really mad that Elwyn didn't hear it because I'm tempted to lean over to Tuppence and say, want to go chase another messenger Drake through the sky to steal the message. But
Actually, can I lean in when he says that? Since I
Mhm.
overheard him and say something, and I'll just say, oh, and don't worry about telling the legate about us. We want it to be a surprise.
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
All right. Let's see, persuasion. All right, I'm not even joking what I just rolled, but I got another natural 20.
And that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, you lean out of the cart and kind of say that, and Dickory just kind of like looks back at you and then back at the youth and just kind of gives a dismissing wave to the youth, who goes then back to checking out the carts and things coming in behind you.
move. All right. I will just drive the wagon into the city.
Smooth like
Okay.
Coco.
Yep.
You find yourselves in sort of the
What?
southern half of the biggest city you've been in since Port Horizon Shroud. In a lot of ways, there are similarities to, this big city and the one you were in last, but this city seems to be mostly built on a slope, kind of on the foothills of this mountain, what the youth called Mount Skorstein, I think. So it's kind of on a consistent slope, and you can see as you kind of wind your way through the roads, there are channels in the street that all seem to be headed a specific direction, and they seem to have a slight flow of water in them at the moment. And Embers, you would know that these all lead to the reservoir. The idea is that like ice melt from the mountain comes down and fills the reservoir each year. What would you like to do now that you're in the city?
Well, I reckon we ought to find a place to park the wagon and secure some lodging for the night, and then we could go off to our individual business. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I know that I would like to visit the library and do some research. I have quite a few things that I'd like to look into while we're here.
If it's, I understand your reluctance, Coco, to not to drop in on Kalea right away, but it's something we should do at some point, if only to avoid casting further suspicion on ourselves.
Yeah, we can do that once we're situated.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to come with us, being a new member to the party and all.
Mhm.
maybe I'll take on that.
The group of you can see that Torin is positively beaming about something over in the corner. Just has a big, stupid, dragon-toothed grin on his face.
Is there something you'd like to do here, Tar?
What? No, I was just thinking I'm proud of myself. I kept my mouth shut the entire time.
You know, I was going to compliment you on that, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
The only thing I said was my name. Other than that, kept it shut. He
Very
just
good,
gives
Torin.
a proud nod.
Very reassuring.
Well, Embers, you said you know this city,
Parts of
you
it?
know, where a great, wonderful, exciting inn we could stay at, where I could just sing. I want to sing.
Do I need to like roll a history check or something here?
No, you know plenty of inns
Yeah.
and taverns around here.
Yeah, that's the part of the city I'm most familiar with.
Great. We'll test you to pick a fun one.
All right.
Pick a rowdy one. Pick a loud one.
Sure, we can do that. Loud and rowdy it is.
You know, that's actually a great idea, Tuppence. I think it'll be easier to lay low at a place like that.
I don't have like a list of taverns and tap rooms in the city,
Sure.
but you make your way to one that Embers has been in before. Kind of park the wagon out front. It's probably like a slightly seedy, rundown place, but you can hear it's already raucous on the inside.
Can it be called the Hill House?
No, it's
Okay,
like
never mind.
the rusty nail or something
the
like that.
speed with which he turned that down.
It's like the rusty nail or something like that for
Okay.
sure.
Well, this is one of the many rowdy, loud taverns in town.
I would like to roll an insight check on Embers.
Okay.
Just to get a read on her disposition and kind of comfort level now that we're in the city.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I'll roll a counter deception check. Why not?
I mean, that's only an 18, so
Only an 18. What?
yeah.
Well, I rolled a 9 on my deception. You can. It's not what you get from Embers' demeanor. It's not that she's not excited about going to a loud and rowdy tavern. She doesn't quite remember which one she's still welcome in.
Have you told us before that you are banned from some places, or is that just meta knowledge?
No, that's kind of just meta knowledge.
Okay, so excited, but a little bit
Yeah.
trepidatious
Mhm.
ish. Okay. Yeah, then I'll just pocket that information for later. Thank you.
The group of you make your way into the rusty nail and kind of one by one file in. And as soon as, the barkeep kind of, greets each of one of you as you're coming in and like starts getting glasses and things like that ready. But as soon as they see Embers, it's just out now.
I didn't
Points to the door.
I just got here.
And then they point
sure
behind the
there's some
bar
kind
and
of
there's a like series of portraits, poorly drawn, but one of them is clearly a Tabaxi woman, and there's some resemblance to Embers. And he says, the bartender says, "My dad drew that, made sure I knew it was important. This woman ever comes back, she can't come in."
You know, you would have waited a lot of money on us. So
He just kind of points again towards the door.
I'm out.
All right.
I'm out.
The
Members leave.
trepidation makes sense now. All right. I guess
we would have gotten botulism there anyway, the rusty nail. Whatever.
yeah, perhaps there's a little bit nicer place we can stay.
Yeah, you make your way over to the squeaky chair. And it is exactly the same experience. As soon as the door opens and, Embers is shown there, the bartender, like eyes go wide, bulging, and just, you are like shown the door once again. And this process repeats over and over and over again, no matter how many taverns you stop at.
All right, so you know how some people are sent to prison for crimes they didn't commit? That's not me.
Huh? Starting to get that impression.
Well, we can see if some resident will
any
rent, or we can.
taverns that you-
pretend-
Or inns that you didn't frequent when you were here.
Not the ones that Tuppence would be interested in.
The other thing I'd say is even a couple of them you stopped into, some of the barkeeps would say things like, you know, word of mouth has gotten around, you know, and maybe Embers didn't cause a scene at that bar specifically, but like she is a known quantity here among pretty much like all the bar owners and tavern owners.
Well, we do have that disguise kit.
Hmm.
It can only do so much. but-
Actually, I think. Hang on a second. I have. Oh, never mind. That's self only. It's called disguise self. Who would have thought? I'm like,
Yeah.
I have a spell
I was gonna
for
say.
me. For me. Yeah.
Makeup doesn't work very well on me. I'm not interested in dyeing my fur, and I'm very tall.
Hmm.
The only thing I can help with is I can cast invisibility on you, but it just lasts an hour.
We'll keep looking. There's
I
bound to
think.
be somewhere,
Maybe in a different district.
maybe.
Do you want to ask around about, you know, places someone might be able to stay that aren't, you know, seedy
Let's-
taverns and bars and things like that?
Yeah.
All right, someone can roll, I guess, a survival or like a, I don't know, just some kind of charisma check, like a persuasion check. I'll leave it up to you.
So hold on though,
Can I-
before we
yeah.
roll anything, because of my noble background, and like this
Uh-huh.
shit never comes up ever in D&D, but my noble background feature says the common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure. So I can be the one that spearheads trying to find a place
Okay.
and use this
Yeah.
to my benefit.
So Elwyn, when you start asking around, you hear one thing come up repeatedly. And it's basically like, since you're using you know, your noble background, people are giving you like the prime place to stay in the city. And it comes up over and over and over again in many people's recommendations. This place called Tasha's Tap Room. Apparently it was originally just like a single tap room, but it's owned by a very successful, you know, brewing and you know, like basically like a brewing clan of dwarves, and it has basically sprung up into a luxury hotel.
What are the odds that they have heard of you and will turn you away at the door, Embers?
The way things have been going, I would give it a 70-30 shot.
Well, let's try it. And like, if your nobility shenanigans don't work, I can always cast suggestion. See how that goes too.
That's true. That's true.
Who are we kidding? You can charm the spots off of the ladybug. Come on. It'll work.
I can certainly try anyway. Let's go check it out.
Okay. You make your way there and it's kind of back the way you came, because it's sort of back by the gate you actually entered the city in. But eventually you find it, and it is this like 10 or 12 story building. So it like towers up above most of the other buildings nearby. And it definitely has like that sort of chic modern look to it rather than so it's like it stands out against the rest of the buildings in this very old city. It even, I would say, has a electric light sign on the front that says Tasha's Tap Room. And yeah, it's got a set of double doors there leading inward.
So I will waltz in. I will put on my best noble air, and I will waltz in with everyone else like 2 or 3 steps behind me.
At
Does
this
it
point,
smell like brownie? Your
Hmm?
noble air?
You're the one that smells like brownie, not me. Gross.
at this point, like Ember's just like walking around with like her tail between her legs, just like cringing and trying to make herself look small.
Oh.
Oh, poor Embers. But yeah, I'll waltz right in, right up to the front desk or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, you walk in and it's basically like a fancy hotel lobby. There's like sitting areas and there's like one of those glass chandeliers hanging up above, and there's a little concierge desk. And the person there who's in a very nice, black and white suit, sees you coming and kind of gestures you over that way. Yes, hello. Welcome to Tasha's Tap Room. How can I help you?
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Lady Elwyn Amelos, heir to House Amelos, Minister of the Old Faith and Shepherd of the Tundra. And this is my entourage. And we would like to secure a room for a few nights, if that would be possible.
Well, that is quite a mouthful for a name, but this should be possible. And the person kind of looks around at the group of you, and as you've sort of grown to expect, eyes go a little wide when they see Embers, and he just says, "Just one moment, please. I must consult with."
Oh, I really don't
my
think
manager?
that would be necessary.
I will be right back. And basically just bustles out of the room.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
I'm going to get us out of this. Don't worry about it, honey. It'll be fine.
And you guys have to wait maybe about 5 minutes before this person comes back and basically just returns to the desk, but they're shortly followed by a dwarven fellow with that sort of short, stocky build. This dwarf is a little bit, thinner for a dwarf. Dark skin, a very like well manicured beard, hair in braids that is shaved on the sides, but it kind of flops over to one side. And this person is dressed impeccably. And he walks up and says, "Hello, I'm Tashawn Froth Tankard. You can call me Tasha. I've heard of the group of you. I assume you know my cousin Nora?"
Nora, yes. I was going to ask if there was any relation. What a relief to find a family member out here.
Well, you're
Yes, we are
actually
good
lucky
friends with Nora.
you're lucky you've stumbled into my tap room and not, one of my families. I'm about the only cousin who still talks to Nora, but we won't get into the family business.
That
Any
sounds like a
friends of
story for
Nora's?
drinks. for
Any
later.
friends of Nora's are welcome in my establishment, of course, free of charge. And Nora's told me excellent things about the group of you.
Oh, that is really too kind, Tashawn. Really, it is such a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet all of you. And he goes around and kind of gives, handshakes to each and every one of you. Coco, pleasure to meet you. Lady Elwyn Amelos.
Likewise.
It is an absolute delight.
Elwyn is fine, thanks.
Yeah, and you're basically, introductions are made. And then Tashawn says, "Well, listen, I am a little bit short on rooms at the moment. Can the group of you share one, or would you require two? With RomCon being postponed, many of the VIPs and frankly, many of the guests from out of town are actually staying here at the tap room. So I am quite booked with that being delayed, but I should be able to get at least one room for the group of you, if that's all right."
I think one should be fine. 2 would be ideal, but 1 is fine.
Okay.
Especially-
He then nods to the concierge and just says, Please go prepare their room for them, and I'll take them back to the tap room, get them situated with a couple of drinks, and you let me know when the room's ready. And that person just basically says, "Yes, sir, very well," and runs away. And then Tashawn kind of gestures you further inward into the hotel.
How do you spell Tashawn?
It's TASHAWN.
AWN. Okay, thanks.
And then Froth Tankard.
So Tuppy's gonna fly over and land on Ember's shoulder and says, "See, we went through all that just to meet Deshawn. Everything happens for a reason, and isn't this place great?"
Oh, it's very upscale. I'm sorry that they don't seem to have anywhere for you to play.
Ah, that's okay. I'll sing out in the street, get it all out. You know me.
Maybe you could go some evening and find a place without me.
Ah, it's not that big a deal. Then she goes,
Well-
la 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 la.
As you're saying that, though, Sean leads you further inward, and you can actually see why it's called Tasha's Tap Room, because the fancy hotel is built around a structure which is very much a classic, this era tap room. And as soon as you walk into it, it's basically just like, I mean, it's cleaner than your average CD bar, but the vibe is still preserved there. And there is a place where a bard could perform in there. And Tashawn actually steps behind the bar himself. There is a bartender there, but he kind of pushes the bartender out of the way and says, "Well, what can I get for you? We have a number of specialty cocktails, but we also have all the regular stuff." So
Please do enlighten us on those specialty cocktails.
You still do Fymyr fizzies here?
we do. Technically, that one's owned by the Fizzy, but we can serve it and just not call it what it is.
All
How's
right.
that? Yeah, so Tashawn will kind of whip one of those up for you. There's a lot of shaking involved in a Fymyr fizzy, I assume. He will list off those specialty cocktails since you asked. Hold on.
Can't just dangle that carrot in front of us and not expect us to go after
No, I know
it.
I have notes on it. He says, here at the tap room, I kind of made a name for myself with cocktails that infuse with coffee. I do a little bit of, work with fine coffees as well. So let's see. Yes, here we go. We have the Tasha's Caustic Cold Brew, which is a, cold brew coffee with some cream, bourbon, a little bit of maple syrup in there. We have the Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which will guarantee to get you laughing. That one's coffee and vanilla infused tequila. And we have the Tasha's Mind Whip, which I recommend if you're looking to get out of your mind, which is a cream liqueur, a coffee liqueur, vodka, rum, and tequila.
Wow.
Wow,
Wow. I'll try the cold brew.
me too.
He begins mixing those. Does Tuppence want anything?
Can I just have the cold brew with a little cream? No funny stuff.
You've got it. And he begins mixing all of those things. And as he's working on that, you get your chance to look around the tap room. And it's pretty much empty at this hour of the day. Though there are a few hotel guests kind of leisurely sipping on cocktails or coffee drinks of their own. But there is, I would say, one gentleman also at the bar. And Jordan, do you want to describe what your dog looks like?
Yeah. So you see a very large, middle-aged orc, kind of brownish green skin, more brown than green, in scale mail armor with a big tabard over it of Bahamut. You can also see a big Bahamut holy symbol on him, and across his back he has a clubstone bat. And you can also see a number of like he has a backpack and it looks very disheveled, and they're just random like papers that are looking like they're falling out of him. And he's got some short black straight hair that he's trying to slick back and trying to hide that his hair is definitely going, as well as going gray. And he's got like you can see that he's very powerfully built, but he definitely has a bit of a paunch.
And yeah, for your Dodd's reference, it's been kind of a boring day so far. Your traveling companion and son is obviously off at the temple, pursuing clerical duties, as he often does. So you find yourself pretty much stuck at the hotel where the Argent Athenaeum has, put you up while you are waiting for RomCon to start so that you can use those vacation days at long last. And finally, after hours of nothing exciting happening, a group of interesting looking travelers wanders in. Do you guys want to describe yourselves real quick? Just a quick description for Jordan.
Sure. I gave a little bit of a sketch earlier when I said that I was a white furred, very tall tabaxi lady. But I'm also I've got like very thick fur and like raggedy tunic that's been patched up a lot.
I'll go next then. Yeah, I am very short in comparison. Little elvish, willowy figured woman with slate blue skin and pearlescent white hair that's up in this really kind of messy, like attempt at a noble updo, but like it's just falling out all over the place. Her prominent features are probably the ice-like crystalline circlet that she wears and her two different colored eyes. She's got one ice blue and one gold eye.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay. Tuppy is shorter than you, Elwyn. She's a
That's
little
true.
pixie bard, and she wears like really billowy, flimsy, kind of flowing dresses, and she's got kind of very light wings that the wings are they're pointed at the end. They're more like a butterfly's wings, but not as rounded. They're more delicate. And she's got blonde hair with one kind of lilac streak in it. She loves flowers and she loves to sing.
She's got a tattoo now too.
Yeah, it'll wink out on her thigh. It's a iris. It's new, brand new.
And Coco is a like kind of brownish amber colored dwarf, stoutly built. He has like worker's hands. You can see some calluses and stuff. Nice thick braided beard, ponytails, and then like a suit of armor. I don't know what Rhymestrand's like colors are.
Like a light blue,
Okay.
probably white as well.
So yeah, adorning colors of a town from south of Fymyr.
And then the other beings who are part of this retinue, there is a white-scaled dragonborn among them who's just got this like big toothy grin on his face. And he's got a big shield across his back, like a big old tower shield type thing. Though I guess it's round. No, I think it is a tower shield. Sorry, my bad. And he's got a big long sword, at his hip. He also wears, I don't think he wears full plate, but very heavy looking armor. All the classic hallmarks of a fighter. And then kind of riding on his shoulder is this sort of, green and sort of creamish, yellowish scaled drake, who is just got a paunch belly, to match your Dodd's. And this drake is definitely like looking around this room, surveying for something. And that's what you see.
Your dad, I forgot to mention, your dad has a drink to the side of him that just looking at it, you can feel the whiskey. And he's got his nose buried in a book.
Yeah, I think
Can
I
we
would.
see, sorry, can we see what book from here? Like, can we see the cover of the book from here?
I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
probably.
Is it a
It's-
romance?
It's Starlight Sovereign.
Okay.
Which is by Lawrence, what's his name, right?
Starpike, yeah.
Starpike, yep.
Yeah, I read my notes.
At this point, Tashawn probably finishes mixing up those drinks, kind of sets them all in front of you and says, all right, I have to attend to some business. One of my,
I had a question for you. Sorry.
yes, I've got to run, but I'll take one question real quick.
Is it all right if Malt stays here instead of in our room?
Oh, he looks up at Malt as if noticing him for the first time. Oh, Malt, I haven't seen you since you were just a little thing. Yeah, of course, Malt, you're welcome to any kind of like gestures up at the rafters. I know your deal. And Malt just kind of like gives an appreciative nod and says, thank you. And then flaps his way up to the rafters where he begins to position himself over various other patrons of the bar so that he can overhear their conversations.
Did you say Malt? I haven't heard that name since I sold the tavern.
What?
Hello.
I should introduce myself, but also, hi, Malt.
Malt kind of looks down at you, lets out a little bit of a burp.
Yeah, that's about right. Sorry, used to own a tavern. The name's your dad. Good to meet you.
Which tavern?
It was back in nope, that's where we live now. No, it was back in Kandar. It's called the three-legged chair.
Nice to meet you then for the first time.
Yeah, at that you can see a little bit of recognition begin to form in Malt's eyes. That's right. I think that Nora was visiting family. I remember. He just kind of goes back to overhearing a conversation elsewhere.
Kandar, you said? Do I know where that is? Is that on a map that I would know?
Roll
I
a
feel
geography check.
I feel like I don't know that.
It's probably not somewhere that Elwyn would know. It's not like a place of any particular importance. People like
I will
Embers who have traveled a
Yeah.
lot might know. It's a city in Daegu, but it's not like it's not like the capital or anything like that. It's by one of Daegu's 4 major lakes, which is really sort of the only. I mean, it has a couple important locations there, but yeah, it's not like a huge city or anything like that.
Okay. But I wouldn't know that. So I'll just say, Kandar, where's that?
Oh, it's a beautiful city in Daegu. You gotta love it. It's on the water. It's gorgeous. The fishing, amazing.
But
I don't know
you're
if any
not,
of you fish.
but you're not there anymore.
Quite a long way away by the sound of it.
Yeah, I'm traveling for work.
Oh,
Yeah, well, also for work, and I hold up the book and staying around for RomCon.
Hey, what happened with RomCon? Why is it delayed?
You know-
You've been in town for a bit. You might have heard a rumor or two. Why don't you roll just like a general charisma check, and we'll see how much you might have heard.
Yeah, great. Charisma, definitely one of his strong suits. I rolled well, 15.
It's kind of been the talk of the town. Though the actual details of what happened are kind of fuzzy. There was a meteor that struck supposedly one of the towers or in one of the courtyards or something like that of the Argent Athenaeum. And they had to basically postpone to do cleanup.
Well, I haven't been told a whole lot, but basically from what I've heard, one of the towers got busted up by a big fiery thing. Not really sure exactly what, but so they've got some cleanup duty needing to do.
That sounds rather serious. I'm quite surprised we didn't hear about it on the way in. Well,
Who would have told us?
well, we spoke with the guards out front and told them where we were planning to go. You'd think that they would have mentioned it.
That's right. Fiery thing. I wonder if it was a bomb.
I don't know. I don't understand science too well.
I see. What is it you do for work?
Oh, I work at the library. I like to stack all the books that most of the other people I work with can't exactly lift a whole, bookcase. And if things need to get moved, they ask me.
Good job.
Honest living?
It's certainly good. It's really only helpful so when I travel around with your son to the different temples that he wants to go to, that I can be mobile, because I can work in just about any library with these skills.
Excuse me, did you name your son your son?
Well, actually, he picked that name himself.
Torin just kind of speaks up and says, "I'm sorry, my son? Your son?
No, your son. Yeah.
I don't have a son."
Well, no, that's because that's my son's name.
Torin just kind of like looks very confused.
I'll just put a drink in Torin's hand.
Scratches his head a little bit.
Just have him focus on that for a little bit.
Like, can't function right now.
That's great.
So glad that this came out so quick.
What does your son do?
Oh, he's a cleric. He's studying all the word of Bahamut and all the teachings, trying to figure out how to get some new kinds of healing magic around through divine power. He's so smart, my kid.
Sounds like it. Wow. That's very impressive.
He's the best.
This is a good place for worshippers of Bahamut to visit. Is there like a big temple or something here?
There sure is.
I don't know if I gave you too many notes on this. There is a temple. It's not, I wouldn't say it's one of the biggest ones in the Empire, but one of the interesting things about the temples here is it's part of a pair. There's a temple of Tiamat and a temple of Bahamut, which are right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And together they're collectively called the chrometallic shrines.
So yeah, there.
I see. That's pretty interesting.
Is the library?
I mean, it's great. I don't really understand all the study, but well, your son wanted to be a cleric, so I came with him. Little father-son excursion, so to speak, and
And Torin is
father-son
just kind of
job change.
That
Torin
because
is muttering under his breath. He's like, "Your son, my son, whose son?"
Are you also a cleric then?
I am. I started to study with my son, and I still keep up, but he's leaps and bounds smarter than me, so I just kind of do my best.
That's nice of you.
Well, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my boy.
That's very nice of you.
Families gotta stick together.
Yep.
Sure do.
So, what brings you all into town? I don't think I've seen you around.
Well, we just got in actually.
Well, welcome
We,
to the city.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're heading north actually, but we thought we'd stop in, and a couple of us are also interested in rom-com, I think, but rom-com, whatever it's called. So it's a shame to hear it got postponed. I wonder if it'll start up before we have to leave.
Well, who's to say? I just hope that not too much time passes, because if I sit too long idle without a project, I get antsy.
We know a lot of people like that, don't we?
I'll drink to that. Raise my glass.
Drinking
I
already.
raise a glass right with you.
Ember's just drinking heavily.
Those coffee mixed drinks as well. They're kind of intense in a lot of different ways, because you can feel yourself, begin to buzz with the caffeine, as well as, get a little bit of the alcohol buzz going on as well. It's an experience. Before too long, Tashawn does come back to the group of you and kind of hands you a little room key. It says, well, I've made sure that your room is all made up. It should be ready for the group of you now. I understand you probably have, things you want to accomplish in the city, but, if you want to go check it out really quick, feel free to do so. We also have a number of amenities here at the hotel. All of that should be explained in the pamphlets in your room. But please do
nice.
let me or any of the staff know if you need anything.
Of course. Thank
Hey,
you so much.
your dog, can I get you anything else?
Yeah, another one of these. A little lighter on the coffee this time.
Righto. Do you want
Thank you.
any coffee in there? I can just uncork one of those, 100 years if you want. It's good stuff.
That would be phenomenal. But I don't want to disrespect you and what you do, because coffee drinks are your thing.
Well, you don't make too much of a living if you don't do what the customer wants. So I'm here to provide, whatever you're looking for. And he goes and brings out a bottle of whiskey, which has apparently been aged for 100 years, and uncorks that and pours just a little bit, into there, a couple fingers worth.
Well, thank you, Tasha. I'm sure I can handle this before I need to go report to Alanis again.
I'm sure you can, your dad. I'm sure you can. Right. I will leave the group of you in the hands of, the regular bartender. I've got a couple management duties I need to attend to, but like I said, ask any of the staff if you need anything. Your room is ready. It's on the 10th floor. And he hands you the key.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, regular bartender, why don't you serve another round of drinks for the whole room on me?
The bartender kind of gives you like a wide eye, but that's like right before Tashawn leaves the room, and Tashawn just kind of like gives a little bit of a shrug. Right. Okay. Some of the weaker stuff. That's fine. Yep. Coming up, round on these guys.
Are
And
there only like
yeah,
a few people? Like
there are only a few people. Yeah, there aren't too many here. But yeah, everyone gets their extra drinks.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How's my messenger drake egg doing at this point?
It is, let's see, what day is today? Today is the 9th of Sun by my reckoning. According to the book you had on hatching messenger drakes and training them, there's probably about a week or so left before this thing
Okay.
hatches.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you're probably looking around like the 20th of Sun for a hatch day.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. If that's the case, then I'll probably want to just pop up to the room and start unloading the things that we don't need.
sounds good to me.
making a nice
Um,
little nest for the egg and stuff in the room. You know,
Stay down if Embers doesn't want to go with and pluck around on my lyre for a little bit. Are you staying down, Embers?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep drinking until somebody stops me.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on her.
Well, so you're gonna give Elwyn and Coco some alone time then, huh? And
Yeah.
Torin.
Torin's the third wheel
And
here.
Torin.
That was happening.
No, Torin will offer to help, but if you don't really need his help, he's going to stay down here and drink as well, I think.
Well, so to get to the 10th floor, is it stairs or do they have like an elevator type thing, or is
They
it
would
like-
have probably a pretty simple pulley elevator to get up.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
then we probably wouldn't need him. But if it was like stairs, it'd be like, all right, maybe we should get
Yeah.
some.
I'll say to Torin, now, Torin, I have a very important mission for you.
His eyes go wide.
I
Yes.
like take his hands.
What is
Say,
it?
I think that being in the city might be a little bit overwhelming for Embers, and I'm a little worried that she's going to make some bad decisions today. So can you just stick with her and make sure she doesn't get into any trouble?
Right. Yeah, you can count on me. I've got it. Don't worry.
She
He gives
needs
you
a
little
good
salute.
drinking buddy, someone to hold her fur back if she gets a little sick. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, if there are two things I'm good for, it's that and well, hitting stuff. So
And you might need to do both.
he turns around and heads back into the bar.
Thanks, Torin. I know we can count on you.
The when you go back to your wagon to see if or to like get any of the stuff you want to take up, there are actually valets there. And the concierge comes out and kind of greets you. Well, I have been instructed to have these valets help you take all of your things up to your room. Is this what you would wish, or do you wish to carry it yourself?
Oh, well, we can certainly use the help, I'm sure.
Very well. And he kind of snaps the fingers, and the valets begin to get to work, kind of loading up all of the books that you have into bags and things like that, and carrying them upward. There's like a whole train of valets going through the lobby,
We have so
unloading your
many
wagon.
books.
We have a lot of stuff.
And of course, we will make sure that the horses are taken care of. I will take them into the stable and see that they are, given some oats and such as a treat. So they will be well taken care of. We will
Thank
park
you.
your wagon.
We had a quite a rough journey on the way here, so spoil them a little for us, will you?
Of course. Sugar cubes all around, eh?
Yes, please. Nice brushing.
Very well. Please go up to your room. You will find the valets there waiting for you with all of your things.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, by the time the two of you get up to your room on the 10th floor, and there are lots of windows up here, so you have kind of a grand sweeping view of the city. Most of the trains within the city run underground, but there are a couple places where they come over, above ground and go over bridges and things like that. So you would catch a glimpse of one of those trains within the city, kind of belching smoke forth from its, smokestack. And you
now,
have the mountain kind of looming over the rest of the city.
and now we head to a different horsing around.
You guys are pretty terrible. No, the first thing I do when we get up to the room is I throw the window open and I take a look at the building outside to see how easily it could be scaled if we need to
Roll a
make an
perception
escape.
check.
Sure. Is this a disadvantage? Is it still super sunny outside?
Yeah, and you've got like
Yeah.
glare off the windows and things like that.
Cool. Perception. 8. Oh. Yeah, this is the 2 real bad rolls. So 8.
Yeah, the sun is at a place in the sky where it is like glinting off the reservoir down below, which you can see from here. It's glinting
Yeah,
off
I'm
the
gonna
windows.
close the window.
It's glinting off the snow cap on the mountain.
I
There-
close
it's
the
all
window and
focused
pull
right
the
on you.
blinds closed, and I like rub my head, and I'm just like, that was a bad idea.
We
I'm
probably
gonna
could just
check
look at
again
it
tonight.
from the
Ugh,
ground level.
I got too excited. This is a really cool place, and I like to be up this high. Oh my
Um,
goodness.
I will say now that you're in the room, it is like a very fancy hotel room. So there's like a mini bar in here.
Oh wow.
my gosh.
Let me see what else is in here. I have to go back to my amenities list. Here we go. It is very fancy. There's the Argent Athenaeum. Where is
When you
Tosh's
said
tap
you're doing
room?
some extra prep today, it was like all this hotel.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. There are pamphlets which kind of explain the other things. It sounds like there's free breakfast buffets in the morning. There's various personal care items in the room in kind of like tiny bottles, like some moisturizers, some shampoos, conditioners. There are sets of bathrobes and slippers, and somehow they even managed to get a set that is tuppence sized, with
No
little wing
way.
holes clearly freshly cut out of it. Like I said, there's a kind of like a mini bar / cocktail station in the room. And there is a pamphlet that details some of the other amenities. It sounds like massages are possible. There are spa treatments. There's a pool. So yeah, there's plenty to do here just at the tap room alone. But one of the things I think would draw Vert's attention, there is kind of, on a stand in the room, there is what looks like an electronic device of some kind. It's like
Okay.
a box with some dials on it.
Do I recognize it, or is it a total mystery?
Mm,
Or does this
Probably a-
pamphlet help me?
the pamphlet probably would have a little blurb about it, just because these are pretty new, but it basically is a radio, it sounds like, as you kind of read through the descriptions there. It sounds like you can use this box to play music, or it sounds like sometimes they broadcast sports. Like Fymyr is pretty famous for its Clubstone team.
Great.
Their team is, I'm drawing a blank here. Jordan, help me out.
Yeah, let me look in my notes. I just had it open.
The
Clubstone
Jotuns.
team. Yeah,
The
the Jotuns.
Jotuns. Yeah, their Clubstone team is the Jotuns, and those games, they play like every Saturday night or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll fiddle with the radio.
You kind of get like some smooth, jazzy music. There's some classical music as you kind of turn through the dials. There's like a talk show. And yeah, eventually you come to like a rerun of one of these Clubstone games. It's the Horizon Shroud Dragon Turtles versus the Fymyr Jotuns. They're in like the 7th inning. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Kind of just like inspecting it, like, wow, this is pretty cool.
And of course, the front of this device bears the Thimblefoot logo, obviously.
Of course it does. So this room is remarkable, and is it also like just how many beds are there? Like a bed for every single
There's
person?
2.
Oh,
And
2
the other
beds,
thing I should
okay.
mention is this hotel is fully equipped with like electric lighting, and it seems like indoor plumbing too, as well. So
Wow.
this place is fancy.
Yeah, shoot. So there's 2 beds. Okay. Could we fit another bed here if we had to, or is it all just
Well,
one
I
big
mean-
room? Like, how's it?
It looks like there were, some extra blankets and pillows and stuff provided in one of the closets for your, spare members.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, this is a pretty cool place. Shoot.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna get to work making a little like cocooning nest out of blankets for the drake egg. Safe place in the room to leave it, so I don't have to worry about it being on my person the whole time. Making sure it's nice and warm. And yeah. Do you want to go to the library today? Check out the Athenaeum today, or do you want to? What time is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what time of day is it?
It's probably still before noon. You guys got here.
Yeah,
pretty
I mean, we
early.
have time. Might
we've
as
got
well.
time.
Not like we can go to any convention.
You're
I'm a
just drinking at the bar before noon.
little-
It's
well, we all
it's my
were,
day
so-
off. What do you want?
We all were day drinking. Yeah, I'm a little worried about embers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll just make sure that we're with her.
That someone's with her.
Speaking of embers, I guess what is going on down in the tap room area?
The more Embers drinks, the more she's getting really chatty and garrulous with your dad, I think.
And so then your son took the clubstone bat and hit it all the way out of the field we were playing in. Took me like 20 minutes to find the boulder. You should have seen it.
Wow, that's that's new to me, this whole sports thing. Is it fun?
Yeah,
Do you play?
I do pretty often. I'll throw the old boulder around with your son.
Great, sounds great.
I mean, usually you need a little extra space, but I usually get mad at throwing the stones around and inside. But
Yeah,
it's a great way to just have an excuse to talk to somebody and get to know them. Besides over a drink.
what's wrong with drinks?
Ain't nothing wrong with drinks unless you've got something to do later in the day. But I mean, as a cleric, I've got ways to solve that too.
What?
And he takes another big swig. Yeah, following Bahamut gives me the ability a couple times a day to just get the poison out of your body and get you back into tip-top shape.
So you can just not be drunk whenever you want?
I mean, a couple times a day.
That's
As he takes another giant swig.
yeah. Well, I'll drink to that.
Amen to that. Bahamut be
Toast.
praised.
Yeah. Embers takes another big drink of her own.
Is Tuppence like playing actual songs or just kind of fiddling with the strings a little
just-
bit?
Plunking around, but she's overhearing the two talk and she flies over and says, "Hey, your dad, how are you at arm wrestling?"
Well, it's been a while, but I'm sure I could give it a shot. Against who?
Hey!
Torin gives you a little bit of a look, your dad, and says, "Watch out. Stronger than she looks. She's actually undefeated."
That is impressive. Let's
Friend.
go.
There go the odds, man. You just you in your mouth. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't jinx it, Torin.
Did I jinx it? Oh my gosh. By the way, your dad, I mean, I'm not shouting into my mic. That's not a word. Anyways, I'm not shouting into my mic, but Torin is very loud when he talks. He's one of those like loud talkers.
Yeah,
Yeah. So just whenever Torin's talking, imagine that.
for sure. Well, if it sounds like fun, let's give it a shot. And I put my arm down on the table.
stakes. Which one to wager?
Yeah, it's been so
Doesn't-
long I
do-
forgot people wager on this.
Doesn't have to be money.
Make it a
Ah,
beer.
That's true.
Make it a drinking contest.
How about
we could drink
if
about
I lose, I sing you a song.
She was
And
gonna
if-
do that anyway.
Well,
Okay.
then
let's-
then if I lose, I'll do something that I'll probably already do anyway. And I'll show you around the city. You
that
said you
sound-
were new?
that sounds like quite a deal. So, Embers, what do you suggest if you think I was gonna sing already? Something else then?
You should make him fly.
Oh,
You can do that? That is
Cool.
impressive.
cool. I'm not gonna lose though, so let's go.
All right.
All right. How did we do this before with Rook? Was it just like a strength check?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't remember. It didn't happen.
Oh, I remember
so
that
It
episode.
didn't. No, you don't. It never happened. We took that one off. Took it off the list.
Yeah, I think that one technically happened off camera, but we mention
Oh,
it literally
session
all the
zero,
time
yeah.
because it's
yeah,
too funny.
It doesn't really. I think it was. I think it was strength. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be athletics too, but maybe strength.
That's how I got
Alright.
allowed into the Silver Seekers. I had to prove my strength.
So I'll let
I
you two
love it.
decide. It can be either just strength or it could be athletics.
I mean, it's the same for me, so I don't care which.
We'll see if it gives Tuppence any advantage.
Yeah, I think it's the same things.
Okay,
Let's do
just a strength check then.
athletics.
Okay.
Athletics. Ready?
The first one for me. Oh, I already rolled. Sorry. I was excited.
How'd you guys do?
15.
I got 14.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, do you want to do best 2 out of 3? Or should we do
No,
just
it's
one?
It's okay, just one. Because
Okay,
then
so
I'll be really,
your
really,
dad,
really impressed.
Yeah.
You managed to push the little pixie's arm down onto the table, but it is so much more of a struggle than it should be.
You are one of the strongest people I've met.
Tuffy giggles and says, "Thank you," and then she sprinkles you with pixie dust, and you're off. You're flying.
Oh,
Can I
oh.
can I say, sorry, point of order here. Something I'm not sure that Tuppence you have on your paper sheet. Are you looking at your paper sheet?
What? Yeah.
You have a feature called Jack for Trades where any ability check you make, you get to add half your proficiency bonus. So that was a 15.
Oh, so we
Oh,
we
snap.
tied.
So
Yes.
just flat
Man.
even.
So
I'd have been-
yeah,
I'd have been
Uh,
okay with him flying.
the yeah, it's a standstill, and I think we need to probably roll off then.
Rollies.
Uh,
Oh, I lose.
16.
4.
Oh, that would be a 17.
She goes undefeated
I
again.
rolled a nat 1, y'all.
Oh
Boom. Yeah, so there's like initially more resistance than you thought, and that totally shakes you. And you can just see this glint in Tuppence's eyes as her wings begin to beat, and she just floors your arm to the table.
I do it with my mage hand.
Oh, well, yeah, with the mage hand.
That's even better.
Nice to meet you. So, you're gonna show us the city, huh?
Absolutely.
Fun. By the way, thanks for putting up with me.
Putting up with you. You're a delight. Both of you are. And I clap Embers on the back just a little too hard. You're both so great.
Okay, Tuppy will land on Embers and start braiding her hair and seeing how she's doing. How you holding up?
Make an insight check. I'm gonna roll at disadvantage.
Oh boy, that is a great big 6.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll for Torin, but I just realized I don't actually have any dice with me.
You're gonna have to do weirdly well because even at disadvantage and even with my -2 to charisma, that's a 15 deception check.
Okay, well, digital dice rolled me at 4, and Torin has +0 to that, so
Okay.
Torin is not noticing at all.
Ember says she's doing great.
She's fine, Tuppence. Look at her. She could handle so much more than this.
Well, she's a tough kitty, that's for sure.
Can handle a whole lot more, huh? Another round then.
Another round. Keep them coming.
Yep, more gets brought forward. How much longer until Elwyn and Coco come down? What are you guys up to up there?
did just want to check in about meeting with Kalea. Should we fight Embers on that? Should we try to talk her out of it, or what do you think?
Why would we want to meet with her exactly?
Well, she's expecting it, I think. Embers was saying if we don't meet her, if we try to avoid it, it might be even more suspicious. And I think she has a point, but
I mean, I don't have to come,
yeah, you don't have to
So-
come.
by all means.
Might be advantageous to get a lay of the land, and maybe I can get another read on her now that I know what I know.
Yeah, no, you guys can go.
All right. Not today, though. Today we're going to go research. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right. So
That's
Elwyn and Coco, when you come back in, it looks like Embers has probably drank more than she was supposed to. And Tuppence and Torin are drunk too, I think.
No, Tuppy wasn't drinking.
Oh,
was
she
just
wasn't drinking. That's
coffee.
right. She just had coffee. So Tuppence might be a little jittery, but
Hard to tell.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just kind of give Torin a look.
He gives you a big smile and a thumbs up.
Great. Just what I expected. Well, I think Coco and I are going to head to the Athenaeum to get started on that research we were talking about.
Great.
Do you want to
Well,
stay here, or how are things? What would you like to do, Embers and Tuppence and Torin?
Good being here. I like it here.
Yeah, Torin kind of thinks for a second, says, I don't really have anything to research, so yeah, I'll stay with Embers. And he kind of gives Elwyn a little wink.
He winks back, very obviously.
Owen, would you like a little help? Haha. Little,
The more the
little
merrier.
more help. Okay,
Of
I'll
course.
tag along.
well, I did promise that I'd show you around the city. You've missed that. She is so strong.
Oh, I'm well aware. She's the strongest of all of us.
Yeah,
But yeah, I bet
She didn't ask you to arm wrestle, did she?
she did, and she
She-
won.
She's the strongest.
how
And her winnings is my personal guidance around the city.
you
Lovely.
said your dot is
The
like
good parts.
pretty.
She's gonna get to see the good parts now.
Lucky,
Oh,
huh?
Embers. Oh, Embers.
You said your dad was like a pretty big built muscular orc, right?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
he's definitely past his prime, but he used to be like bodybuilder big.
Wow.
Cool.
So does
We're
Vert
silly.
feel not so bad now?
I think there's just confusion. Like, okay, no. Coco's gonna roll an insight check on everybody about the event. Did it really happen? Like, are
Mm.
they actually? Was there a joke as like when they come back? Let's tell them that we arm wrestled type of thing. So I'm gonna roll
I'm
an
just
insight
choosing
check.
to believe
Okay.
it.
I got a 22, so I already know that
Yeah.
it's true, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't
Well,
believe
and you
this.
have firsthand experience, so you can't
Yeah. That's like
deny that.
okay.
I think I just kind of practice in my sleep or something. I don't know. I like to arm wrestle.
No,
Why
it's-
wouldn't you? Why
I
wouldn't you?
I think your secret is that people underestimate you, and they shouldn't. All right. Well, Torin, Embers, try not to cause
hold
too much
down the
trouble.
fort.
Yeah, and we'll be back in a few hours, I guess.
Well, before I go, drink up, kid. And I clap Embers on the back again a little too hard,
Mhm.
and I cast Lesser Restoration, which removes the poison, which also, depending on how you rule it, Ethan, would get
Yeah,
you not
sure.
drunk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are stone cold sober again from that
Great.
slap.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Your dot, how do you want to take them through the city? Do you want to, walk? Do you want to try and flag down a cab? Do you want to take the trains? You have options.
I mean, I would definitely just ask the group, like, how quick do we want to get there? Do you want to see the city on the way, or just get there to the library lickety split?
I'd like to take one of the trains if that's en route.
Absolutely. I know the trains like the back of my hand, mostly because I drew a little map on the back of my hand.
There is a train station right nearby. It's probably the one that you would take whenever you're going to work. It's called Gatefront Station, and you want to basically go, north towards Venture Station, past that, almost all the way to Alterside, and then one of the trains out of Venture will, switch tracks basically and take you to Stewards Station, and that's where you want to get off.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll lead everybody along this, and the entire train ride. And you see there that the best sandwich you will ever get. And over there, if you're looking for a very interesting date night, beautiful place to be around sunset.
Oh, love it.
So to give you guys a quick descriptor,
I'm also, just for flavor, peppering with questions because I'm very interested in the city and what's here. So anything you bring up, I'll be just asking all these questions about it and trying to learn as much as I can.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good guide for it. Like I mentioned, a lot of the train stations are usually above ground platforms. And then each train has a number of cars, and basically you can seat yourself on any car in them. But hold on a second. I have a little bit of information here about the trains. A train ride usually costs 5 copper per stop, and you guys are riding 2 stops, so it'd just be a silver piece for each of you. Like I said, they mostly run underground, so basically they depart from these platforms in these above ground stations, and then the track will often slope downwards. And Yurdad, you can explain that there are various vents throughout the streets above that allow the smoke from the engines to come up and not totally cloud the paths underground. But then eventually the trains will come back up onto bridges and things like that over the city. And you can see more of these stone giant statues, like the ones that were by the gate throughout the city. And a lot of them are actually positioned so that they're holding up train tracks, or there's some that are holding up billboards and things. You even see or a pair of them that look like they're supporting a giant water tower. It looks like these stone giant statues are pretty common throughout the city. And the train begins to take you pretty much along the wall of the city. And as you begin to approach Venture Station, the train begins to slow down just a little bit. And a conductor's voice kind of echoes out over an intercom throughout the train. Excuse me, pardon me, passengers. We'll just be making a brief stop here while we wait for a slight delay. It sounds like a train will be leaving Venture Station ahead of us. I'm being told that the Emperor himself is leaving the city today. So if you keep your eyes out your window, you may catch a glimpse. And as I stated, we will be on our way shortly as soon as the platform clears. And as you rush to the windows, you can indeed see sort of crowding the station. There are crowds of people trying to catch a glimpse of the Emperor below.
All right, who wants to see the Emperor the most?
Points to Elwyn.
I reckon it's me then.
I put my hand out to you for a really hearty handshake.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
And I believe in your eyesight, and I'm gonna cast enhance ability.
Thank you.
So enhance ability. So
Is that gonna
I
cancel
believe-
out my
Mhm.
disadvantage from the
yeah.
right
So
day?
owl's wisdom.
Thank
So you've
you.
got advantage on perception if you want to try.
You guys
Yeah.
can all roll perception checks, those of you who are on the train, if you want to try and catch a glimpse of
Great.
the Emperor down
Sure.
below.
So it's still a sunny day, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So great roll. Fuck.
I was hoping that this was gonna be a repeat of the Redwater situation.
Oh,
And there's a
What's
Warforged
that?
up in the
There's a
sky.
Warforged.
That speck up there.
It's
That
like
looks
way up
suspicious.
through the clouds.
Yeah. I got a 19.
I got a 15.
18.
I got a 14.
All of you can probably make out about the same thing down below. You can't see anything in too much detail, but what you do see is basically a series of motor cars that are making their way up to the entrance to the station down the road, and basically crowds are being parted by Imperial wardens for this motorcade to make its way forward. And when they reach the station, a group of Imperial wardens kind of rush around and open doors at one of the motor cars, and a hulking figure steps out. Just, you can tell even at this distance, incredibly tall, definitely probably taller than Embers. This person is standing like 2-3 heads above the rest of the crowd. Long flowing red cape off of a suit of like gold and black armor, dark long hair kind of flowing down to the shoulders, and a golden crown atop the head. This figure steps out, and instantly they're like surrounded by what look like elite soldiers, who basically clear the way for this figure to make his way up to the station platform at Venture Station. And I need each of you as well to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh Lord. Wait, does owl's
Interesting.
wisdom also affect saving throws, or is it just abilities checks? Can't remember.
I
I
think
have that
it
spell too, so I
does.
can look it up. Just check.
It's just wisdom checks, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, dang. Is this a charm effect?
No. Well, no, I don't think so.
I got a 16.
Damn
It's
it.
a 22
fucking
for your dad.
balls. Shit. Fucking motherfucker.
What was that?
Shit. I burned my good rolls, the first 3 rolls of the night. Everything is sorry. I apologize, Jordan, from my potty mouth. Yeah.
Kidding me?
a
That's
9.
usually how I am. I'm just dad mode right now.
Your dad
That's-
mode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a 9.
Okay, and Tuppence?
14.
You can see this effect kind of ripple through the crowd below, as like a number of people kind of instinctively like drop to a knee in reverence. But you are blasted by like this wave of like awe and majesty, and it like almost verges on like the same sensation, like almost a sensation of fear, or just like this powerful awe ripples over you and all the people in the train who are watching this figure ascend the stairs to the station down below.
So none of us passed?
None of you passed.
Wow.
Wow.
A
Wow.
little bit better about that anyway. It was a 3 on die. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like the 3rd 3 I rolled tonight.
Well, luckily it's on seeing the Emperor and not passing something that's not possible.
Yeah. And before too long, he's out of sight. You catch a glimpse ahead of basically a train being boarded. And you can see that there are essentially like a group of Wyvern Knights who are at the station and basically ready to follow this train out to leave the city. And eventually it takes off. and you can see the train kind of goes along the path that leaves the city itself and goes elsewhere in the world. Like your Dodd would know that there are trains over to Daegu from here. And those Wyvern Knights, like a big retinue of them, seem to be following along with the train overhead. And the conductor comes back on. This is your conductor speaking. Sorry about the wait. We'll be moving onward. Next stop, Adventure Station. After that, Stewards. And the train begins to roll forward again.
Just for flavor. As Ellen was watching through the window, she has her hands up on the window. And when she finally releases her hands and sits back down, it's like there's like a thin layer of frost where her hands were.
Wow, did anybody else feel as Twitter-pated as I did?
That's a word
You
for
never
it.
forget when you see the Emperor.
I wonder what he's doing all the way down here.
Go arm wrestling.
That would be a delight.
Please don't tempt her.
You'd win.
Coco, don't tempt her.
Okay, you're so bitter.
And that's something I really want to see, though. Tuppence versus Emperor Stratos in arm wrestling.
Something
Yeah,
tells
for
me
the
that
crown.
sooner or later we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tuppence, the new emperor.
those would be some high stakes. Wow. Maybe you
Those
have to
cows
have,
are floating so high.
have an extra cup of coffee that day.
Mhm.
They're high stakes. Yep. And eventually the train kind of curves around the northern edge of the city, splits at a Y track instead of going towards Alterside Station, which you know is where your son would have gotten off to go to the chrometallic shrines. But instead you head towards Stewards and you find yourselves on the well-manicured grounds surrounding the Argent Athenaeum, which basically, from what you can see here, is a tall building that culminates in a like a kind of a painted dome. It's very decorated and ornate, and it's surrounded by a number of towers. And each of the towers is, a pretty thick, what's the word? Radius diameter. There we go. It's a pretty wide diameter. And there are kind of pathways branching out from the central dome to each one of these towers. And yeah, your Dodd, you know this place well.
Mm-hmm. Back at the office.
Even though it's your day off. Oh no.
And actually, you know that the first thing that these people are going to need, if they're going to use the library's facilities, is they're going to need library cards.
Come with me. We got to get you all checked in.
Right?
I wonder if Alanis is actually here. She's great.
Alanis would be, the person you'd want to talk to, since she's kind of your handler. That library cards and basically like general administration stuff for the library is usually handled by Steward Marble. Marble is his name, who's an Earth Genasi man. And he's usually found in kind of like the central dome.
Let's see if all Marble's over here at the desk. Marble sometimes rolls around from place to place, but usually we can find him at his desk.
And as you kind of enter the big domed structure, if you can picture sort of like the Library of Congress type of layout, there's like a central kiosk in the middle, which is where Steward Marble usually is set up. And then around that, there's sort of a whole bunch of like research desks. And then there are, beyond that, just wings of stacks of books. And kind of hanging from the ceiling, suspended above, is a metallic, like a massive silver statue of a dragon. And it has kind of in its chest area this large, light bluish gem that seems to pulse with energy in there. And Yurdad, you would know this to be a statue of Argentum, the library, or the dragon for whom the library is named.
Mhm. So I'll bring everybody in and hopefully head directly to Marble's desk.
Yep.
Or
And-
like counter or whatever.
Marble is there. He's kind of a thin Earth Genasi man with like light grayish skin. It's kind of cracked in places. The head is just bald and it's very well polished. And he kind of sees Yurdad coming and there's an eye roll.
Hey, Marbs, how you doing?
I told you not to call me Marbs. It's Marble, Steward Marble to you.
I know, but isn't all that pretense kind of ridiculous?
No, it's not. In fact, it is a title conferred to me by the station as a steward of the Argent Athenaeum. You know this.
Yes, and you've worked very hard to get where you are, and I'm proud of you. But also, I like to treat us like we're friends.
Yurdad, we are not friends. We're co-workers.
You'll see.
Who are these you've got with you?
These are some new friends of mine. Lost an arm wrestling match to this one, so I promised I'd show them all around town.
Kind of looks over at Tuppence. The squint.
Yeah. W waves.
They're looking to do some research, so we'll have to get them all kinds of signed up.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, the process is very simple. Marble kind of presents some forms for you to fill out. It's all very basic stuff, just like name and that. And then I will take the small research fee, and then all I need is a photo, and we can put that on your card, and you're good to go.
I don't
Sorry, what
suppose
now?
we can
What's a
take
photo?
I don't suppose we can take the fee out of my wages, huh?
How many are here? Hold on. There's Coco, there's Elwyn, and Tuppence. Yurdad, do you really want to take 150 gold pieces out of your wages?
I mean, I'm gonna be working here as long as I can anyway.
All right, fine by me. I mean, I'll have to run it by Ilanis, but it should be fine. And I assume if Ilanis says no, we can just collect later. Marble looks at the rest of you.
Of course.
All right, very well, very well. Then all I need is your signatures on these, and for you to step into the booth over here for just a moment. Gestures to a small booth off to the side.
What's in there?
It's just a plain backdrop, and I have a photo box, a thimblefoot photo box, which I will use to snap a quick shot of your visage, and we'll slap that onto your library card for identification.
Does that sound normal to you, Coco?
Sounds fine to me.
This doesn't not sound normal to me. Doesn't sound natural.
Well, if there's any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer them as a steward of the Argent Athenaeum. That is my
What-
job here.
Would it make you feel better if I did it first, Tuppy?
Well, why can't I just draw my picture on my card? I mean, how many fairy Bixie bards are there?
Marble produces a sheet of like blank parchment for you. I'll judge the likeness, and if I deem it worthy, we'll use your rendition.
Cool.
Okay. Why don't we do just like a dexterity check for that, just to see how it turns out?
Can I help her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, what are you doing to
Okay.
help?
I can produce, I have 2 different ways I can produce any type of tools, basic tools. So certainly there's some tools, I can make
You
that
could
might be able
produce
to-
like a calligraphy
Calligraphy
set or
set,
like a
yeah.
painter's set or something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I can do that and be like, here, maybe something like this.
Okay. So what kind of check are we making?
Yeah,
Dexterity?
dexterity, I guess.
Okay. Ooh, good thing. Oops. Okay, +2. So it's a 19.
Make her arms a little bigger. A little more muscular.
Marble holds the image up to you, kind of looks back
Flexing.
and forth.
She smells real big, flaps her wings,
Nod
does
of
a little
approval from
twirl.
Coco.
Fine, this will do. Very well.
Thank you. See, that wasn't so bad. Thanks for your help, Coco.
Of course. And then he'll hand his signed parchment back and walk towards the booth.
Yeah. Inside there's like a small apparatus with like a big light bulb. You're kind of standing there and Marble says, just look directly into the lens. And 3, 2, 1, click. And there's a big
He
flash.
blinks.
Yep.
Sorry.
Same thing for Elwyn. Basically, you're told to look into the lens. 3, 2, 1,
It's
big
the two
flash.
people who have the sensitive eyes getting their pictures.
Yeah.
taken.
Does Elwyn
So-
blink too?
Probably. That's real bright.
So
Perfect.
it's just like a face that's like,
Like, ow,
"Whoa."
God.
Just like-
I will get those developed. In the meantime, you can take these temporary library cards, and Marble kind of pushes those across the desk to you. The matter of the fee,
Doing.
as I mentioned, will be discussed with the senior steward, is her title, with the senior steward. Other than that, you are now free to use the Athenaeum as you please.
Thank you
Coco's
very
like
much.
slapping the desk trying to
Yeah.
find it. Like, okay, hold on, I'll be there in a second. Like,
I just want to check in real quick with Embers. Is Embers up to anything in particular?
Ember's actually, I think she stopped drinking when she got the back slap. Cause like, I think that helped her realize, like sobering up, helped her realize that she was on her way to doing something willfully stupid. And I think like, she just kind of like, just fiddles with the drink in front of her and then just like pushes it away and says like, hey, Torin, I'm gonna go for a walk. I don't know if you want to come with me.
He looks around. Yeah, sure, if you don't mind. I mean, I don't have anything to do here.
All right. And I think she's gonna just walk across the city to the Athenaeum.
Okay,
So she's gonna get there way later than the others, but she is going there.
alrighty. Yeah, we'll get to that maybe probably next week at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
But you'll catch up with them over there. What would the group of you like to do now that you've got your temporary library cards and your pictures are being developed?
well, Tuppence is already ready. To
Yeah,
go.
well, Tuppence, yeah, but the card still needs to be created.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm really surprised,
there's a
Coco, that you
lamination
wanted
process. So
your picture to be taken. What if they make duplicates?
I mean,
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, it's fine.
okay.
You
What if
know,
What if it steals your soul? Do you
Yeah.
trust that machine?
pats himself. I don't feel like it's still there.
I think that there are probably going to be a lot of things that we encounter on the road, Tuppence, that could possibly steal our souls, and I don't think that was one of them.
How do you know?
Well, we are perfectly fine.
For now, I'll watch you.
Okay.
You know,
you do that.
you can see magic things too. Why don't you just check it?
I don't want to waste it on that. I'm just
Yeah,
pulling
that's
your
what I
chain.
thought. That's what I thought.
as the group of you begin to make your way into sort of the stacks to begin your research for whatever you want to research, you notice more of these stewards running around in this area, going about the business in the library. See if I have a description of their outfits in general. I feel like I do. Maybe I don't. They wear kind of like grayish robes with silver trim to them. And you can see that there are some ranks among them. Most of them have kind of plain robes, but some of them have robes with a little bit more like, silver trim to them. And also they kind of bear the design of like a silver dragon on the back. And those seem to be, treated with a little bit more deference. But the other things you see as you begin to head towards research is there are a number of constructs like positioned throughout the library that seem to be made of this like silver metal. They're very kind of like elegant and dainty. They aren't like big bulky constructs in any way. And they seem to have these light blue crystalline cores to them, kind of in the chest and then also in the head, which look very similar to the crystalline core of the silver dragon hanging above the entire sort of central dome. And you also catch a glimpse every now and then of tiny little bird-like constructs made of the same metal with smaller light blue gems kind of flitting around between various bookcases. And occasionally one of them will be like carrying a book in a little harness from its beak. Yeah. What would you like to
Two questions
research?
about these. How similar is the metal to the stuff that Vert uses?
It's different. This has a
Okay.
very like silvery sheen to it. If it's not
Okay.
silver itself, it's made to look like silver.
Okay. Second question, how similar are the crystalline cores to the fairy crystal in my staff?
Again, very distinct.
Distinctly different.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to
Okay.
have that sort of like ice-like quality to it.
Okay.
Um,
You said light blue, and so my radar went ping ping.
yeah, but I think you have a trained enough eye with fairy crystal
Yeah.
that you would spot the differences.
Yeah. I would notice it right away. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, well, we have quite a few topics. Tuppence, do you want to take doing research on the League of Terrors
Okay.
and the anything about, I don't know how common or widespread that name is, so you might want to start by researching the history of the world and the ancient monsters and all that stuff.
History of the world. You can like narrow it down a little bit.
Well, you
I mean,
know,
just a
like
little bit.
like everything
Well, I
Kashira
mean-
talked about with the yuan tea and that kind of thing, right?
I know.
I mean, we do have one big book that's just the history of the world. It's a pop-up book.
That might be a great place to start. Yeah.
It's like for
Very helpful.
5-year-old humans.
And I'll look at Cole. Do you know where you want to start?
Maybe with this thing that we found back at Rhymestrand.
All right.
Okay, so we'll take these one at a time, and I think we'll probably end today's episode after everyone's had a chance to do a little bit of research. Which one of you wants to go first?
Go ahead, Tuppence.
Okay.
So the way this works is you're going to roll an intelligence check. You've already covered the basic research fee for all your research here by signing up for a library card. But if you want to add a bonus to your roll, you can spend 25 gold pieces for a +1 bonus, 50 gold pieces for a +2 bonus, and so on, up to a +6 to just sort of increase your roll. And then, yeah, depending on your roll, you'll get a certain amount of information.
Yeah, you got that +1 from being in a bard.
How much was it
Okay.
for +6 again?
So for +1, it's 25, and then each +1 is 25 beyond that.
Oh, okay, that's quite a bit.
But if there's one that you like really want to research, you can go up to +6 with that.
What do we want to do that? Spend more on something?
Well,
Also,
actually, you know what? Let's let you guys make those decisions throughout the
gonna
week.
say.
Yeah, this is actually, if you guys want to
Okay.
have a think about it, decide what you want to research and how much you want to
we need
put
to-
resources into it.
Yeah.
Do we need to decide before we see what we rolled, whether or not to pour more money into it, or can we
I'll say you can pour more money into it after you see what you
after
roll.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
And then is this one roll the only roll we're making? So can it be affected by things like, I don't know if Bardic Inspiration works on intelligence checks, or like guidance, or like other.
I would say that guidance, I mean, it's an intelligence check. So yeah, probably anything that affects a check could help.
Okay.
Got-
Yeah.
got
So I guess
guidance for days.
we'll pick up with some fancy schmancy researching next time, though I know we do have some schedule stuff, so probably not next week, but likely the week after that. So we will be back with this more Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Keep an eye on our Twitter for our schedule information. Jordan, any final shout outs for your stuff?
I think I said everything. So I talked about Dice Jailers. I talked about the Letterkenny Talent Show. No, nothing else.
Sweet. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. I'm looking forward to more Your Dot in the future.
And maybe
I
some
hope
your
we-
son.
I was about to say, I hope we get to meet your son at some point.
You'll meet your son for sure. I mean, your
No,
Dot's son,
not
anyways.
Embers' son.
Yeah.
What?
Tornin's your son.
When did Embers get us? That's crazy.
I'm gonna
Anyways,
need a.
thank you to all of you who came to watch. Thank you guys for playing. We'll be back with more of this soon. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Right?